Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Collegewise Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that's happening as part of the Collegewise Virtual College Fair, so certainly feel free to register for additional ones in the same location where you registered for this one. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week's time at the same website where you initially registered. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters, and we'll get started today with Alverno College. And you are muted, Martha.
Sorry, this is my first one on this one. All right, sorry. My name is Martha Chavarria. I am an admissions counselor at Alverno College. Alverno is located on the south side of Milwaukee. A few things to know about our school is we are a smaller college. It is a private all women's Catholic institution. You do not have to be Catholic to attend. We actually have about 25 other denominations represented on campus. Also, being that we are a smaller college, we do have smaller classroom sizes, more one-on-one with professors. And then what really attracts students to our school is our academics. We don't actually have traditional letter grades. It's very hands-on. Any work that a student does, it's all going to be based on the curriculum and assessments. So they will get assessments, self-assessments from themselves and from their professors. We are also a pretty diverse campus. 50% of the campus is of women of color. And then we are the first Hispanic serving institution in the state of Wisconsin, meaning about 25% of our student population are Latinx. That benefits everybody. The money that we get due to having that status goes out to, rolling out new programs. They're actually going to be building a new building on campus that students will be able to get to use. So it definitely benefits everyone. New for this year, as we are test optional. So if a student has not had the opportunity to take the ACT or SAT, you can apply and then just put test optional. We are offering merit scholarships still, and those range depending on a student's GPA. So anywhere from 12,000 all the way up to 18. And then we have a few competitive scholarships that are available to students that they can apply to. One of the newer ones that we have this year is the Thea Bowman Institute Scholarship, and that is for our students, for African-American students who have been admitted to Alverno. And then a little bit about some of the programs we have. We have about 30, combined with majors and minors, about 60 on campus. More popular ones that people come to Alverno for are nursing, education, business, and then music therapy. So those are some of the new ones, more popular ones that students come for. And then we also do have sports. It is Division III sports, so there is no scholarship, but students still come all over to play sports at our school. Although we are a small school and about 80% of our students are from the Milwaukee area, we do have dorms, so staying on campus is an option. If you are from the Milwaukee area and do not want to live on campus, you don't have to. So those are just like a few things about Alverno. Stop sharing.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Martha. And our next presentation comes from Lawrence University.
Hello, and thank you. My name is Brendan Nabosny. I'm one of the assistant directors at Lawrence University. I have the pleasure of working with students from Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Bear with me just a second while I share my screen. Perfect. So a little bit about Lawrence University. So we are an undergraduate only university located in Appleton, Wisconsin. So we are about 20 minutes south of Green Bay and 20 minutes north of Oshkosh. We're a direct it's very easy to get to Appleton. We have the Appleton International Airport with direct flights on Delta, American, and United going to Minneapolis, Denver, Chicago, Atlanta, and Detroit. So very easy to get to Appleton. The city of Appleton is about 75,000 people, while Lawrence University is about 1,500 students. So we are a small private university, and we are an undergraduate only university. The reason why we can call ourselves undergraduate only is because we have 2 degree giving bodies. So we have the College of Arts and Sciences, as well as our Conservatory of Music. About 75% of our students are pursuing a degree through the college, while the other 25% of our students are pursuing a degree through the Conservatory of Music. Now, the Conservatory of Music is an open conservatory. So what that means is if a student has a music interest, but doesn't want to commit to being a music major, they can still be involved with music in a variety of different ways, whether that's picking up a minor, taking lessons, taking classes, joining an ensemble. So about 50% of our total campus population is involved with music in some way. Now that does mean that 50% of our students are not involved with music, which I always say is a great thing because we always need audience members as well. Through the college, our students are receiving a Bachelor of Arts, with the most popular majors currently being biology, chemistry, physics, biochemistry going that pre-med track, as well as anthropology is big right now, the foreign languages, history, political science, all that wonderful stuff. And in the conservatory, a student can pick up either a Bachelor of Music in performance, music education, performance, composition, there we go, and music theory, or they can pick up a Bachelor of Musical Arts with a focus in jazz studies. So a lot of different options. We are a purely residential campus, so our students do have to live on campus all 4 years. We do have an incentive for 5th-year students. So we have a program, which is our double degree program. So a student can pick up a degree in the college as well as a degree in the conservatory. It is an automatic 5-year program, but for that 5th year, those 5th-year students can move off campus. But we are a small, tight, and strong community by being a residential campus. There's a lot of different living situations that students can choose from, though, whether it be our doubles, triples, quads, the lofts, the suites, the apartments, our themed houses. So there's a lot of different options going on there, which is really good for our campus community. In addition to our Appleton campus, we also have our northern campus located in Door County, Wisconsin, called Bjorklanden. Bjorklanden is a lodge right on Lake Michigan, about 90 minutes north from campus, that during the academic year is only for our students. So what that means is students will go up with different academic classes to do research projects. They will go up with classes with organizations to do retreats. What else will go up? Ensembles will go up to do different ensemble work, and it is completely free for our students to take advantage of. The only requirements that we require you to do your opportunity, which is your chore. So make your bed, do your dishes, all that stuff you should be doing already, but it is completely free for our students to take full advantage of Bjorklanden. In addition to having 1,500 students on campus, that breaks down to an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So our students are taught by just over 170 different professors, and all professors do teach their own classes. Being undergraduate only, we have no TAs on campus that teach classes. So our faculty members are incredibly accessible. Your average class size is going to be about 13 to 15 students, and you're really going to develop such a really strong mentor-mentee relationship with your faculty member. Again, it goes back to us being a community, a family, and being there for each other and striving to be the best people we can be. Outside the classroom, we do offer 22 Division III sports teams, with women's hockey being the newest sport that we added to our roster this year. We also have over 100 different clubs and organizations as well. Right now, the biggest and most popular clubs are things with sustainability. So the Slug Garden, which is our local garden on campus, Green Fire, the Beekeeping Club, creating a more sustainable Lawrence, as well as a sustainable Appleton. Those are really big things that are happening on campus right now. In terms of application process, we are a free application. We either accept the common application or the Lawrence application. We've also been a test optional institution for just over 10 years now. So we've been test optional for a really long time. I know a lot of other schools are going test optional this year because of current situations, but it's been a Lawrence practice for a very long time. So we're used to working with test optional students. Students who apply to Lawrence are automatically considered for merit scholarship, and that merit scholarship can range from $20,000 to $31,000 per year. It's good for all 4 years. If you end up doing a 5th year for some reason, it rolls over into that 5th year as well. We do offer need-based financial aid on top of that merit scholarship, so any grants or loans that we can provide you. And then if you receive any sort of outside scholarships through local organizations or anything like that, we'll just stack that on top of what we're already offering you as well. We are currently open for campus visits on a reduced schedule. It's one family per tour guide, so socially distanced, mask wearing. You're not allowed in every building, but you do get to walk the campus and get to be on campus. We're also offering a variety of virtual options, whether it's our virtual open houses. All of the admissions counselors are offering daily meetings and admissions interviews with students as well as our faculty is doing one-on-one meetings with students. The conservatory faculty members are doing one-on-one lessons virtually. You can sit in on a class virtually. So a lot of different options to experience Lawrence without having to come to campus. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out or drop something in the chat. But thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. And our next presentation comes from the Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Emma Phillips. I'm an admissions counselor at the Milwaukee School of Engineering. I am just going to get my screen shared here really quickly. Give me 1 second here. All right, so I just have a little brief presentation, a little bit about MSOE. This isn't going to give you a full idea. I'm not going to go into the details, just going to give you a quick overview, just so you can figure out if MSOE is a good fit for you right off the bat. So MSOE by the numbers. MSOE, the Milwaukee School of Engineering, we're located right downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So right in the middle of the city, we're about 6 blocks away from Lake Michigan. Milwaukee is a really fun place to be a student. There's lots of stuff to do. It's not like a huge city where there's traffic all the time. So we love the location we're in. We are a pretty small school, about 2,800 students. We do have graduate programs, but we are specifically an undergrad focused school. So you can see about a little bit more than 2,700 of our students are undergrad in our undergrad programs here. I do have a little breakdown of male to female ratios, all of that, but I do really want to focus on the 2 things at the bottom. Our student to faculty ratio here is 13 to 1. So what that means, for every 13 students here, we have a faculty member on campus. Our average class size is about 21 students. That is usually going to be for a class like calculus or physics, really that everybody takes. Labs here, and I'll talk about this a little bit in the next slide, labs here will always be 10 students or less. Labs will be the majority of the space and the time that you spend here at MSOE. We are a very, very hands-on focused school. So I'm actually going to talk about that in my next slide here. So the Milwaukee School of Engineering, the E, it's engineering, but we do offer a few other programs as well. This is a list of our total majors here. Pretty much every kind of engineering you can really ever want. It might not even be listed, but like a great example, aerospace engineering, we do offer that. We just listed under mechanical engineering. Aside from our engineering programs, we offer actuarial science, nursing. We have a very strong nursing program. Computer science majors, so computer science, software engineering, software development. And then we also offer business and user experience. So we have a few different majors that aren't engineering. The reason that we really have this kind of group of majors here, all of these programs require you to practice a lot to get good at them. So you can't be a good engineer if you don't know how to build stuff, and if you're not creative, and if you don't break things every once in a while when you're learning, right? So all of the programs, nursing is included as well, right? The way you get good at these is practice. So that's why we have the majors we have. All of our programs here are 4-year graduation guarantee. So basically what that means, you'll graduate here in 4 years with any of these tracks. We're also a direct admit school. So basically that means you're, when you get accepted to MSOE, you're also accepted into the program of your choosing. So a little bit about academics, I've already touched on this a little bit, but we really have a hands-on emphasis to learning here. Most of your time here will be taught in labs, practicing things, building things, breaking things. All of our classes are only taught by faculty members, so we don't allow teaching assistants or anything like that. And also all of our professors have to have 5 to 7 years of experience in the field, before they come teach here at MSOE. That way they're really tying everything that you're learning into how it affected them in the field. Maybe your mechanical engineering professor, she was an engineer at Milwaukee Tool. She can talk about her experience there and why she needed to learn the thing that you're learning today. So it's a very hands-on emphasis to education here. I did just want to talk a little bit about the admissions process. Our application is online. It's totally free. Engineers love to hear this, but there's no essay required either. We're rolling admissions. So if you're a senior now, I would recommend applying now. We've already started accepting students. We recommend applying definitely before December. This year, we are a test optional institution. So please feel free to just send your transcripts in. If you want to send a test score, you totally can. If you don't send one in, that's not going to affect your admissions decision here. It wouldn't negatively impact you. So really right now, we are just looking for transcripts. Also a little plug, regardless of what school you apply to, make sure that you file the FAFSA that is open now. So admissions recommendations. We like to see a minimum 3.0 GPA or higher. And then we also like to see 4 years of math, 4 years of science, 4 years of English. Specifically, we're requiring some form of calculus for all majors except nursing. And we also like to see physics for engineers. The reason we really are strict on those are really the building blocks of a lot of our programs here. So that's something that we'll look at pretty closely. Again, I mainly touched on academics in this presentation just because I think that that's something that is really unique to us. But just like most institutions as well, we do offer athletics. We're a D3 school, so we offer pretty much any kind of sport you could want except for football. Instead of football, we're a hockey school. That's our Friday night aggression sport. Otherwise, we do have over 99 different clubs and orgs ranging from Greek life to a weirdly thriving unicycle club to different diversity organizations to all of these different things, competition organizations. So there's lots of ways for students to get involved on our campus. And then just really briefly, I have 2 links for you. The first one, if you have not applied yet, I would recommend if you're a senior, you can go to msoe.edu/apply. Otherwise, the second link, msoe.edu/visit, that is to all of our virtual visits. We are also hosting in-person visits. So if you'd like to do so, you can schedule one of those as well. And of course, if you have any questions about MSOE, feel free to shoot a message in the chat, say, hey, MSOE, I have a question, blah, 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 and I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you, Emma. Our next presentation comes to us from Viterbo University.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian Weber. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Viterbo, so happy to have folks on here and for folks watching later. Hope this is informative for you as well. Viterbo is a 4-year private Catholic university on the west coast of Wisconsin. So we are in a town called La Crosse, Wisconsin. Metro area is about 140,000 people and the city limits is closer to 50,000. So if you've never been here, we're nestled right between the Mississippi River and this beautiful driftless area, which wasn't flattened by a second set of glaciers that pass through. So there's bluffs, there's beautiful hiking, mountain biking, great places to go kayaking, fishing, you name it. Outdoors is certainly a plus here for this part of Wisconsin. But we are a smaller institution. So we have about 1,500 undergrad students and about 1,000 grad students. So for class sizes, that might mean an average class size of around 16. For this year, it's even a little bit smaller thanks to COVID. Our student to faculty ratio is about 11:1. So you really will get to know your faculty here. We don't use teaching assistants to teach classes. It's faculty in all of your coursework. On the screen, you'll see a number of the programs that we can kind of group things into. And so we have over 40 different majors, and some of those bigger areas for us are pre-health and STEM, business, education, performing arts, health and human behavior, which is things like psychology, social work, criminal justice, and humanities and languages. So there's a lot of things to choose from, and most of our students don't pick a major till their sophomore year. But for some areas, like with engineering or nursing, it's helpful to know that coming in. And so that's something to keep in mind for those areas. The biggest national draw for us is definitely the music theater program. So this is a top 30 program in the country. It's really a conservatory style program rooted in a liberal arts education. And so students have a lot of performance opportunities, senior showcases, a number of other things that go along with that. But with our freshman class having about 25 states represented, a lot of those students are coming in from around the country for that music theater program. Really a great one to look into. Some of the distinctions for Viterbo are there as well in terms of unique programs. So our nursing program does have a direct admit option for students. We do have a 4-year engineering program, which is somewhat unique for a liberal arts college. And we have Bachelor of Fine Arts options through those performing arts that I already talked about a little bit. We also have some things like neuroscience, sports management, technology education, which is really rare. There's only 3 schools in the state that have it here in Wisconsin, and things like nutrition sciences. So there's plenty to choose from. The student experience here, though, you'll find this is probably one of the friendliest places that you can visit and live. It's continuously been one of these places that's been on a top 10 list for different things: best small college town, best place to live, #1 small college town in Wisconsin, things like that. So you'll move here, you'll meet people. They want to know where you're from, what you're up to, what you're interested in, and people routinely tell us that this is one of the friendliest campuses that they visited. We are open for campus visits, so whether you start at the URL at the bottom of the page there, or you go right to our homepage, there's some visit options and links at the top. But at those visits, we like campus tours, talk about scholarship opportunities, your interests as a student, and how we can help you get there. We have some graduate programs too for long-term planning, but for that undergrad program, we do have a 4-year guarantee and opportunities to work with your faculty and academic advisors to make sure you graduate on time. Applying to Viterbo, we have gun test optional like a lot of schools. This is something we've been looking at for a few years, and COVID certainly pushed us to really make the jump to do test optional admissions. We are doing that for at least the next 2 years, but it's likely that will continue beyond that. So students applying to Viterbo, the application for admission is free and online. We would need some test scores only if you have them and want to share them, but we would want high school transcripts on file. And so really showing us kind of what you've done for your education so far, getting a better sense of how well prepared you are for this next step would be important. Yeah, test scores won't affect scholarships. We've changed all of our policies regarding that. And so we'll look at your academic marks and what you have to say about your interests and career goals in our one unified scholarship application that is due in early January. So for students looking at the institution right now, apply for admission now, get the scholarship application in for additional scholarship opportunities. And then we also look at need-based aid after that. So we hope to see you with us in a future class, but if you have questions, please let me know.
Thanks, Brian. And our next presentation comes from St. Olaf College.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Thanks, Owen, for facilitating. So excited to be chatting with everybody. I appreciate the attendees for sitting in on one more Zoom meeting, as I'm sure you've been going through quite a few in the last few months. So I will go ahead and share my screen and jump in. It's going to be fast, quick, but just to give you a little taste, obviously we have a much bigger option through our online visit experience, virtual visit experience, where you can come and get the full info session, but just a little taste. So welcome. This is how a lot of people think campus looks most times of the year. But we also have the welcome because it's not just snow covered the entire year. Right now there is some snow on campus, but this is what it should be looking like. So we're talking about St. Olaf College, small liberal arts school located down in Northfield, Minnesota. We're about 45 minutes south of Minneapolis and St. Paul, with a bus line to the airport, downtown Minneapolis, and all of that. I grew up in Connecticut, used that bus line all the time to get back and forth to home and to campus. Northfield, though, great little small town, a little bit more rural, 20,000 people. Claim to fame is that the outlaw Jesse James was defeated in Northfield, and a Hallmark Channel movie was filmed in Northfield. So if you're interested, look up Love Always Santa or something like that. But anyway, jumping into just some of the academics here, we offer over 85 majors, programs, concentrations. Some of the top 10 most popular majors are things like bio, econ, psych, music, English, political science, art history. So a pretty wide spectrum. Concentration is just our version of a minor. And then we're also pretty well known for some of our pre-professional programs, our pre-health programs specifically, but also ones like pre-law, pre-engineering, pre-business, things like that. We have a 4-1-4 calendar, which means we have a little interim semester in between the 2 semesters, and a lot of our students are doing work outside of the classroom as well. Average class size is 23 students with a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio, as with a lot of other schools on this call. Also no TAs teaching any classes, so it's the professor the entire time. And then as you can see too, a lot of our students are looking to pursue more education after St. Olaf and are pretty successful doing so. So the degree sort of carries you coast to coast after you graduate. 95% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. You're guaranteed housing for 4 years. We don't have any Greek life at St. Olaf, so no fraternities or sororities. We do have a couple off-campus housing options, our honor and language houses, things like that. But pretty close-knit community. Students sort of self-select into a place where students are going to be very active, engaged, showing up to class, organizations, things like that. And then I can't pass up this slide without talking about the cafeteria. A little different than some other schools, only one campus dining hall, main dining hall, and we're ranked number 7 in the country for food. So definitely a big perk to being on campus for all 4 years. We are also the #1 liberal arts school in the country as far as the number of students who study abroad every year. So 75% of our students study off campus at some point during their 4 years. All of our programs are academic in nature. A lot of students study abroad during that J term. That's a very popular time to go abroad, 1-month term. But we have over 100 programs in 48 countries, semester-long programs, year-long programs, summer programs. I was lucky enough to go to Tanzania, Nicaragua, and Peru over my last 3 Januaries. We also have some domestic off-campus programs too, if you want to study elsewhere in the US. So some different options for different people. But I was actually on this exact program to Peru, overlooking Machu Picchu at the exact same time. So this was a big thing that drew me to St. Olaf and to campus. One of the other things we're very well known for would be our fine arts programs. We are one of 3 liberal arts schools in the country that is nationally accredited in the 4 major fine arts: dance, music, theater, and art. You can see the official numbers there on the side, but we also obviously offer a lot of student-run art happening on campus, and we do have fine art scholarships in music, theater, art, and dance. You do not need to major in those areas to get the scholarship. You also don't need to major in any of these areas to participate fully in the department. So you don't need to be a music major to audition for any ensemble or theater production, anything like that. On the flip side, we also have a lot of athletics on campus. So about 26, 27 Division III varsity sports, 13 club sports, and then 75% of our students are doing some sort of intramural on campus. We have 325 acres of preserved natural land surrounding the campus, a 3-story rock wall, weight room, upper track, lower track, indoor ice arena, pool, lots to choose from when it comes to recreation on campus. One other part of our identity is that we are affiliated with the ELCA, the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. That being said, about 19% of our students are Lutheran, 23% have no religious preference. All other major religions are represented on campus. So it's a very open-minded field. There's no requirement to go to chapel or Sunday service, but we do offer a daily optional chapel. We do offer Sunday service. We do offer transportation to any local places of worship as well. And this is the chapel right on campus. That's what you see pictured here. And one other thing I want to just sort of chat about before we sort of dig into application, scholarship, and all of that is just our Career Center. I think this is a resource that really sets us apart as an institution. Obviously, they do sort of all the traditional Career Center responsibilities, helping with cover letters and resumes and internships and all of that. But they do a lot of really unique things as well. So they award about $500,000 every year for students to take part in low paid or unpaid internships. They have local networking programs where they'll bus students into Minneapolis where they can meet with Ole alum and sort of network and grow that knowledge base before they step off campus. We have national networking programs where they fly students to New York, Denver, California to get a sense of how your St. Olaf degree could transfer to another big market, and they get to meet with St. Olaf alumni there. They have a competition for student businesses. They have full-time employees who specialize in different areas. So you can go and meet with a pre-health advisor or a pre-engineering advisor or something like that just to see what's available for you. So they do quite a bit, translates to 96% of our students either having a full-time job, being in graduate school, or doing some sort of year-long service program like Teach for America or AmeriCorps within 9 months of graduating. 85% of our students graduate within 4 years, and we have a 91% retention rate between our first year and our second year. And with the placement rate, obviously, I think the Piper Center has a lot to do with that. So that's a really big thing. And then just sort of finishing up, with some conversation around financial aid and applying. We have 2 early decision dates, an early action date, a regular decision date, all of which can be found on our website. We are obviously test optional this year, and we will be planning to be test optional for the foreseeable future. So that's not going away anytime soon. Again, like all the other schools on this call, being test optional does not exclude you from any merit scholarships, and merit scholarships range from $10,000 to $25,000 a year. We also have a service and leadership scholarship, which is also automatic consideration, $2,000 to $6,000 a year. And then our fine arts scholarships, again, you do not need to major in those areas to get a scholarship, ranges from $2,000 to $15,000 a year. And all that's to be said too, that we are one of 80 schools in the country that meets 100% of demonstrated financial need for all of our families. So always happy to extend past merit scholarships to make sure that this is an affordable place for you. So that's a really quick little overview of St. Olaf, but let us know if you have any questions in the comments, and thanks again for coming and watching.
Great, thanks so much, Ben. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, either specific about individual institutions or broader ones for all of our panelists, certainly feel free to submit those through the Q&A feature. And now for our final presentation, we welcome the University of Minnesota, Rochester.
Thanks so much, and let me share my screen. All right, so good evening, everyone, or whatever time you are watching this video. My name is Brett Hartnagel. I am the Director of Admissions with the University of Minnesota, Rochester. University of Minnesota, Rochester is part of the University of Minnesota system. There are 5 campuses in the U of M system. Twin Cities is the most well-known. It is both in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We have our Duluth campus in the Northeast. Northwest, we have our Crookston campus, and then we have our Morris campus kind of in the western part of the state. Rochester is about an hour and a half, 90 minutes from the Twin Cities campus in the southeast corner of Minnesota. But we are all maroon and gold. We are all Block M, and when you graduate your diploma, we'll say University of Minnesota. Rochester, Minnesota is the 3rd largest city now in the state of Minnesota. We are growing rapidly. We are known as Med City, and we are known as Med City, and we are growing because of our big company that is in Rochester. We are home to the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic is the #1 hospital system in the United States. They are the #1 employer in the state of Minnesota, and so their presence in Rochester has made us a target for people to come from all over the world to receive the best health care right now. So we're very blessed. UMR is physically located next to Mayo Clinic. We share a building with Mayo, and our other buildings are connected via Skyway. So when you walk to class, you'll be walking past a lot of physicians and nurses and other healthcare professionals who work at Mayo. Rochester, we were established actually in 2006 and officially opened our doors in 2009. So we are a young university. Most of you probably watching are older than UMR. We have just now a little over 950 students. So we are one of the smallest schools in the country with a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. It does mean that you'll have very good relationships, not only with your faculty, but your student advisors as well. We are also one of the most diverse campuses in the state of Minnesota system, with 42% students of color in this last incoming class and 65% underrepresented. Most of our students are coming from the state of Minnesota, but we do have students coming from all around the United States. One nice thing we have at the University of Minnesota, Rochester, is that we do not have out-of-state tuition. So every student will be paying about $13,000 tuition price, whether you're in-state or out-of-state. So because we're in Med City, because we're next to Mayo, it is no surprise that our main focus at UMR is health sciences. Our goal, our mission is to educate and train the next generation of healthcare providers. Especially now during the pandemic, we are seeing more and more need for healthcare providers. And so we are hoping to get students interested in all areas of healthcare. So with the one major of health sciences, you can do a lot of different healthcare career paths. These include direct patient care. Patient care can be your pre-med students, PA, PT, OT, nursing, and all across the board. Research is a massive part of what they do at the Mayo Clinic. And so we do have a lot of our students who are focused not necessarily on patient care, but on the other side of the house, which is more research and development. This is obviously a public health crisis that we're going through right now. So public policy and global health has certainly become more and more popular amongst our students, but also understanding different areas such as mental health, which is now becoming a much more talked about issue in the US and around the world. Health business, health technology, lots of different areas that you can go into. But the one major will be health sciences. And then that allows you to then explore all of these other different healthcare careers. As a freshman coming in, you can either be that health sciences major, or you can major in one of our 3 direct entry programs. We call these early assurance because you'll start taking prerequisites, but you are assured a spot in the program as long as you pass your prerequisites. These include nursing, which is your standard 4-year degree. PA, physician's assistant, is a 3+2 program with the Mayo Clinic School of Health Sciences. So you'll do 3 years with UMR and 2 years at Mayo, and you earn both your bachelor's and your master's degree. Respiratory care, that's one of the biggest frontline workers nowadays, since we are battling a respiratory illness in COVID. So this is a 2+2, 2 years with UMR, 2 years with Mayo, and you earn your bachelor's degree and you're certified as a respiratory therapist from the Mayo Clinic. As part of your degree program, since there are hundreds of different career options with health sciences, you're given a student success coach that will help guide you throughout this entire process. One of the big advantages about coming to a smaller school like UMR is that your coach has time to actually work with you. They're not just your academic coach, they're your career coach, your life coach, and just the person to go talk to if you ever have any issues. Most universities have hundreds of students per their academic advisor. Our ratio is about 75 students per academic coach. We also have a very vibrant student life on campus, from student organizations to intramural sports. We don't have NCAA sports, but we do have a lot of great intramural sports like basketball and volleyball, to Halloween, which is one of our biggest traditions coming up. We have a very vibrant student life. And that also leads to a very vibrant housing community. 318 Commons, all freshmen must live on campus their first year, but they're not dorms, they're full apartments with full kitchens, all the major appliances, a washer dryer in every unit. So that's usually the highlight on the tours when they get to see the housing and the different apartments. Apartments will range in terms of style, but really you can either share your room, have your own room, or have your own room and your own bathroom. As far as admissions requirements go, we do a holistic review of all students. It's not just a minimum GPA or a minimum test score. We do read the entire student file when looking at the admissions process. The big thing for us is that our deadline is December 1 for any scholarship consideration, as well as for any of those early assurance programs, nursing, respiratory, and PA. The deadline will be December 1. We'll be looking at your transcripts and both a GPA and STEM GPA. We look at a STEM GPA since obviously health sciences is a very strong math and science curriculum. Test scores is optional this year, as well as letters of recommendation, but if you'd like to submit them, you most certainly can. But again, we're looking for well-rounded students. We're looking for students who have a lot of experience in leadership and those who've already had some healthcare experience, either getting your CNA, PCA, or shadowing or volunteering in a hospital setting. We are offering campus tours in person, but you're also free to do a virtual tour online where you'll meet with one of our admissions reps, as well as do a tour with our ambassadors. So thanks so much, everybody. And again, hope everyone is staying safe and healthy during this pandemic.
Great. Thank you, Brett. At this point, we'll transition to any questions and answers that our attendees may have, and we'll also at the same time bring back all of our panelists. And to kick things off, just ask a question, and certainly feel free to respond in the same order as the initial presentations. But whether you are offering campus visits right now or not, at some point students will have to come and visit your campus. And when they do that, what do you think's the one place that they need to see when they're on your campus? Where can they not leave without checking out?
I think for us, our commons, because it's kind of all in one. It's where students gather. If say they bring like a comedian on campus or like a spoken word, it's also where they eat. And then there's even a loft area where there's a fireplace. So it's just a really cozy area for everybody to come see.
I'll say two places. The first is the Lawrence Memorial Chapel. So we're not a religiously affiliated institution, but the chapel has been a mainstay since the 1920s. It just shows you the classic side of Lawrence, as well as the Warch Campus Center, which is our new student union. It's been on campus for about 8 years now, and that gives you the newer aspect of campus.
I also have two places. So MSOE, Milwaukee School of Engineering, we just redid our student union, our third floor of our campus center. So that's definitely a hot thing to check out right now. We just got a brand new eating option on our campus, so students love that. The second one would be a brand new computer science building. So those students that are in computer science, they love to see that space. We have a new supercomputer in there, so that's pretty cool for computer science people to see.
Everyone, Viterbo University is open for visits and tours. So we do one family per tour guide. And then we do have one-on-one meetings with admissions counselors and can get faculty meetings or pretty much anything except going in the classroom and in the residence halls right now we can do. So for our visitors, we tend to take you to spaces where it's all about your major, so you'll get to see kind of behind the scenes in some different spaces, simulation labs, performing arts spaces, things like that. And so beyond that, I usually just recommend people try to get over to the convent, which is next door, and see the chapel that they have, because it's just gorgeous, and it's a really nice piece to have right next to our campus too.
Yeah, I would say Regence Hall of Natural Science on St. Olaf's campus. It's the newest building that we built from the ground up, platinum certified LEED building, so super green, and it's just a very impressive, lots of really great lab spaces. You can check out all of the research that's been going on too. So that would be one of my go-to spots.
For UMR, we have our main building, U Square, right on the second floor below where the university is. There's a great gelato place, so check that out. And then as you're eating your gelato, walk across the plaza. On the other side of the plaza are the two main Mayo Clinic buildings, Gonda and Plummer. One of the unique things about Mayo is that they have such a unique art collection as well as architecture. So the Plummer building is just absolutely beautiful. They have the classic bell tower on top. And then Gonda is the main check-in station for most patients that come to see Mayo. So you kind of, it's almost like an airport. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's a lot of excitement. There's shops and restaurants. And then you get to see some great, amazing statues and art as part of the welcome that patients get when they visit the Mayo Clinic. So I would recommend that.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks to all of our viewers tuning in live, as well as to those watching the recording on demand. And thank you to all of our panelists for giving up part of your evening to share your institutions with us. When this webinar ends, there will be a link to a quick 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, just a reminder that this was one of many sessions being hosted, and be sure to sign up for additional ones or watch additional recordings, which will be available in about a week's time on the same website where you submitted your registration. Thanks so much and have a great evening.